We are huge fans of this man who I will stop talking about as if he's not sitting here looking at me. Introduce him, one of the stars of Quantum Leap, airing Monday at 10 Eastern on NBC. Good to see you, Ernie Hudson.
Well, thank you. It's great to be here with you. Good to talk to you.
Do you remember the original Quantum Leap? Did you?
I do. You know, I was a single dad to my, I have 4 sons, my 2 older boys. And it's one of the shows that we would, from time to time, watch. I didn't watch it every week, but we'd watch it. And one of the shows that we would actually have conversations after about, you know. So I have very fond memories of, and my sons were huge fans. So I think of all the people, they were really excited about the thought of Dad being in Quantum Leap.
That's fantastic. And we're talking about Quantum Leap with Ernie Hudson as our terrestrial radio audience is back here on the Rich Eisen Show, the actor here in studio. It's interesting that you mentioned that your older sons, the original Quantum Leap, you would watch it with them. My 2 older sons watching Sunday Night Football, seeing the commercials are like they want in. They see it. So I don't know what it is. It's just they're into the idea. It's pretty cool.
It's a great idea. I mean, the thought of you know, at a time when we really do need to understand what the other person is thinking.
Yes.
The idea of being able to not only step in someone else's shoes, but to literally be in their world during a time of crisis. And seeing decisions made, but being able to better understand why they made those decisions.
Yeah.
And it forces you out of judgment. And I think that's what appeals to people.
And that might be needed a little bit in our times, huh?
I think it's needed a whole lot in our times because it's so easy to slip into feeling like you know exactly what's going on and discrediting the other side, you know. So it takes a little bit of effort to say, you know what, maybe I'm not seeing everything.
Quantum Leap star Ernie Hudson here on the Rich Eisen Show. Again, it can be checked out on NBC Mondays at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Fun stuff. Kids can watch it. Family viewing. It's so rare these days to have something like that. So check it all out on Monday night. So are you a Michigander? Are you from the state of Michigan?
I'm from the state of Michigan, yeah. I'm born and raised.
Okay.
You know,
all right.
Southwestern Michigan, Benton Harbor.
Okay.
Shout out to
that's
Benton
right
Harbor.
near Kalamazoo. Is that right
near
around
Kalamazoo,
there?
yeah, just
so right
south
around
of
Western Michigan, right around there.
Yeah, directly across the lake from Chicago.
Okay.
Back in the 30s, I think they had a boat that went from Chicago to Benton Harbor, which was a resort community at the time.
Okay.
And went to college, left Benton Harbor, went to college in Detroit. And so spent a lot of years in Michigan.
At UD, is that where you went to? University of
Wayne
Detroit?
State. Went to Wayne State. Yeah.
Were they called the Tartars then? Is that what they were? I think that they might have been, or that could be another school in that town. I went to the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor.
Yeah, my oldest son went to Michigan State. My ex-wife got her master's from the University of Michigan.
Okay.
So we spent a little time in Ann Arbor.
Well, I mean, it's just a beautiful town.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful.
I'm from New York City, so going to school in Ann Arbor, Ernie Hudson, was an eye-opener, especially since, I would, say I wanted to drink a soda, and they would look at me like I was crazy, and then, or I was wearing sneakers, and they would call it pop and tennis shoes.
Oh, yeah.
The sprinkles or jimmies, it was quite an education for me that it wasn't.
Well, Ann Arbor would be an education. I'm just down the road in Detroit, and so I went to Wayne State. But when we got to the University of Michigan, it was an eye opener for me as well. It's a great city, very different, college town, but very, very special.
Did you ever find yourself in old Tigers Stadium? Did you ever go to a game back in the day in the old Tigers Stadium?
When I was in college, I was, a dad with 2 kids and had to pay the rent and keep things going.
So baseball was not happening?
No, I gotta work. I had to. I love the Tigers, but I always had to do double duty. In addition to going to school, I also had to work. Also, to work a job, to do theater, to try and get an education was full time.
Wow,
and be a dad.
So I was about to say, just try to make ends meet. You tried acting.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and the funny thing is, I heard all the things about the impossibility of being an actor, but once I really committed to acting, I've pretty much been able to make a living doing that since 66.
Damn straight you have. And I've got a whole bunch of questions about your career that we have put out here in a segment called Celebrity True or False, which we do with a lot of our celebrity guests, and you absolutely qualify as such, where aspects of your filmography or TV career or things that you've said, and we just want to know if it's true or false, what we see on the internet. Okay, here we go. And then we have some great, again, production value to it. Go for it, please.
Celebrity True or False?
You can't handle the truth.
All right, here we go. Celebrity True or False with Ernie Hudson. Were you impressed by our production?
I was very impressed.
Okay, very good.
I am impressed.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. True or false? Earlier in your career, you were in episodes of Fantasy Island, The White Shadow, and Taxi.
Yes.
That triple play is correct.
That is correct.
Okay. So who are you on the? We're showing the White Shadow up on the screen right here.
Right.
Who are you in the White Shadow? Do you remember that?
Well, all those guys you saw in that photo, they were on the series and they had a full-time job. I was the guy who kind of came in for the episode.
Oh no, you were all guesting on these shows, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, I was guessing on it. So I wasn't
I'm sure
in
you
that
weren't
photo.
welcoming the plane in Fantasy Island every single week.
I think in the White Shadow, I had a scene where I walked up to the concession stand and ordered some popcorn. I think that's pretty much what I did. That was pretty much what I did on the White Shadow. I think. I mean, it might have been more than that.
Okay,
that's all I remember. I remember ordering popcorn. On the White Shadow.
And Fantasy Island.
Island. Yeah, I played a voodoo priest who had this dance with a snake, and I remember one of my best friends who was a dancer.
Yes.
Our friendship broke up because he was insulted that they hired me, an actor, to do this dance. And
oh my goodness!
But but it was really one of the highlights of my 50+ years was working with Ricardo Montalban, because I got on the show and he came to my dressing room and welcomed me and just really, I sent him a thank you note after. The only actor I've ever sent a thank you note to.
No kidding.
So special.
So wait a minute. You're saying Mr. Rourke himself welcomed you to Fantasy Island? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because I'm just starting out. I'd stayed in my dressing room, and they had all these celebrities, and I was like, okay, I just. And he's like, he opened the door and says, welcome. Just like he's on the show, welcome to Fantasy Island. And he says, come. And he took me around and introduced me to everybody. And
that's how you met Tattoo for the first time?
Yeah, I think I don't think Tattoo is quite as ingratiating, but Ricardo, he had lunch. He said he had lunch with me, and I thought, wow, man, this is
okay.
And then I saw him a little before he passed away, and he pretended that he remembered me. I'm not sure if he did, but he was so gracious about it.
That is so nice. Wonderful. Yeah. All right, second one for you. True or false, Ernie Hudson, you had to move out of your Los Angeles apartment after Ghostbusters was released because too many fans of the film came to visit. True or false?
That's true. Sadly, that's true.
What happened?
Well, I had this apartment, and it was right off of Pico and Robertson, which is a, pretty busy area.
Yeah.
But if you went to the drugstore up on the corner or the gas station, they say, hey, you see that movie Ghostbuster? Ernie Hudson, he lives right at...
Get out of here.
Yeah, and people would show up 10 o'clock at night with their families. Oh, my God, I can't believe it's you. They knock on the door, and I open the door, and they try to peek in, and we just got here from Ohio, and we just, the first movie we saw, and come on, this is him. And it happened a lot. So people, that space, and then I realized why people, buy behind gates, because that sense of people feel a bit of, it's okay to sort of show up at your house.
At your door.
Yeah.
My God. So did you ever go to the person in the drugstore, say, hey, how about not pointing out where my spot
but I
is?
think, I might have, but, I tend to want to be nice about it. Like, what, maybe people don't need to know where. They're so proud of you. Yeah, I'm so proud. I told everybody you're in the movie.
Yeah. How did you get that script? How did that arrive in your world, Ernie Hudson?
Well, I first heard about Ghostbusters. I was on an elevator at Cedars-Sinai Hospital visiting a friend, and Ivan Reitman just happened to get on the elevator. Now, I did a movie the year before called Space Hunter that Ivan produced, and I saw Ivan. We said hello, and he told me he was doing this movie Ghostbusters, which I hadn't heard of, and he had Billy and Danny in it. I didn't know who Billy and Danny was. And then he said, but there's nothing in it for you.
That's what he said?
He said, and I'm like, okay, well, good luck with that. And then I hear there's a part that they're looking for. It's that it's a black character, but I couldn't get an interview for 3 months. Everybody I knew had gone in for this part, but I think the role I did in Space Hunter was Washington. He was bigger than light, and I think Ivan saw me as that guy, and it was not Winston. Winston is not take over and loud him. At any rate, eventually I got an audition. I went in and I killed it. Actors out there will know when you just like, yeah. I mean, I just want to throw the script down and say, But they liked me, and they had me come back in again to put me on tape. And I thought, you had a camera in there. I thought I was on tape, but we go back. And I went in about 6 times.
Wow.
Over probably about 2.5 months.
So you fought for it.
Yeah, they kept bringing me back, and it was almost like, we really don't want you, but let's look at him again. No, I shouldn't say that. But it's, yeah. So it took a long time. By the time I got the role in Ghostbusters, it was like, I couldn't even get excited about it. It's like, okay, they wore me out. But being a single dad, it was a role I knew I had to get this role. I had to get
life-changing role, obviously, because you found out who Billy and Danny were.
I found out who Billy and Danny were.
You identified the aforementioned Billy and Danny,
right.
and who they were at the time. I mean, were you? What was it like on the set?
Well, it was great. Yeah, no, the guys were amazing. Bill Murray, I consider a good friend from day one. He's always been very
right.
Harold Ramis. I mean, they're great guys. It was we rehearsed for about 4 weeks, I guess, maybe about a month in New York. They changed the scripts, which has always been fans know been a point of contention for me. Mm-hmm. But I've since made peace with that. Yeah, the shoot in New York was really amazing, but it was a growing experience for me. It was really a learning, growing experience, and but it was a fight. And even after the movie came out in that apartment,
yes,
they would get me to do a lot of press for the movie. That beats couldn't get the other guys to do it, but but that was a real challenge because they'd send the Ghostbuster car to that apartment, which also brought attention. No, they send the car
so like
because
Pico and Robertson, the Ghostbusters cars walking down the street.
To take me to the Chinese theater in Hollywood, and and the car would always break down. So we'd go and we'd do that, and we'd sign up, we'd jump back in the car, and it'd go 20 feet, and it would stop. Now we're standing out there. I'm in the Ghostbuster jumpsuit,
calling AAA,
and they're calling. Yeah, they calling somebody
for a jump.
It was a weird time. It was just
amazing. So that we have a celebrity true or false question about the movie. True or false? The jail scene in Ghostbusters was filmed in an actual prison, reported to be haunted, and the dailies came back with unexplained scratches. Is that true or false?
I honestly have no idea. I would say I can't even say false because I don't know. I mean, it might have
could have been ghosts, could have been not.
Yeah.
Do you believe in ghosts after all these years?
Well, I believed in ghosts. Yeah, I've always believed in ghosts.
Okay.
It always makes me a little unsettled.
But you're not afraid of no ghosts, right?
Well, I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
Okay.
But I would after Ghostbusters because you get these weird things. Fans would invite me to come places to go. I got invited to come to Mississippi to do a ghost hunt at midnight.
And?
No, I'm not going. I'm not going to Mississippi at midnight with a bunch of people I don't know, looking for ghosts to find out I'm the ghost that's being haunted. No, but I get invited to a lot of haunted things that I know.
A couple more for you. Ernie Hudson, celebrity true or false, huge fan of yours and the show Oz. I mean, on the opposite end of one would call the Ghostbuster spectrum, and Fantasy Island, things like that. True or false, you shot the first season of Oz in Manhattan at an old Oreo cookie factory. Is that true or false?
It might have been a factory, an Oreo cookie factory. I was never told that.
Okay.
We shot it in New York and in Chelsea.
Okay.
The first 4 seasons, I think we shot in New York.
Okay. So you just never strolled into Gen Pop and saw some double stuff in the corner or something like that? Okay.
No, they. I think we had that place, and they only rented. I think Oprah Winfrey for her production came and bought it, and we got kicked out. So, which is why we had to go to New Jersey. But that's another story. But Oreo Cookie Factory, I'm not sure. It might have been.
What a show! What an unbelievable, gritty, totally. I guess what gritty gripping, but I felt like I went through the ringer after 60 minutes of that program.
Well, honestly, I couldn't watch the show at its time. It would come on like at 10 o'clock at night.
Right.
And even being in the show, I'm like, I can't look at this and lay down. I mean, honestly, I'm.
You're right. I mean, like it's time to go to bed after that. Like, no way.
Yeah, no, but it was a blessing, and it was a wonderful cast. They're all, for the most part, working and have gone on to have great careers, and I just feel so honored and blessed to have been part of Tom Fontana, the creator.
With Barry Levinson.
With Barry Levinson.
Right.
But Tom did St. Elsewhere, and I did a half-season. Denzel Washington was my doctor, and so I met Tom on that. And when Oz came up, he called and said...
Is that right? So the connective tissue of your career, you doing St. Elsewhere... When that happened, he's like, okay, Ernie Hudson's right for this role in Oz.
Well, he called and said, Ernie, it's his eye. He said, remember we always talked about working together? I didn't remember that, but I said, yeah. And he said, I'm doing this, and, and would you like to? And, of course, I'm always honored and flattered and appreciative whenever someone just say they want to work with me without me having to dance for the role. And so the fact that, he extended himself and invited me to come and play, and it turned out to be a wonderful experience.
The cast, as you pointed out, for sure. I mean, Rita Moreno in the cast, and then we've had J.K. Simmons in that chair a couple of times on this show. And, I didn't ask him this, so I'll ask you this, the last one on the Celebrity True or False. True or false that real altercations with extras on the set of Oz broke out occasionally? Is that true or false?
That might be true.
Okay.
I was the warden, so most people were on good behavior when I was around. It was the weirdest thing. Part of my preparation for that character was I'd go there, and I'd go there in, T-shirts, jeans, whatever, and everybody was like, hey, Ernie, and everybody's friendly. And then I'd go in, and I would always shine my shoes, and I'd get the suit on, and when I walk out, nobody spoke to me. It was, and not that I answered that, it's just everybody kind of backed up and...
Because you were
even the other actors, I guess, I don't know, something.
That's a method acting,
changed, and
how about that?
It was always weird. They kept a distance.
Were the table reads just like really intense too, or you were just around there and you and everybody looked at each other like, wow, this script is really out there?
Yeah, well, we didn't get the table reads as much as they would pass out the new script, and then you see people go into different corners. And read, because you didn't know what was coming, because you didn't know who was going to die, who was going to get molested, you didn't know what was going to happen. So you finish it and you go, phew, I survived that one. It's going to be okay.
Yeah, you live for another episode.
For another episode. Which you can imagine, I think the next to the last episode, I read it and I die. I'm like, what? Whoa, I can't die. I'm me. Well, how does that happen? But so yeah, Tom Fontana and his surprises. But
that's interesting, to say the least. Great show, and just a lot of fun chatting with you, Ernie Hudson. Thank you for coming on this program.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I enjoyed it.
My pleasure. Quantum Leap airs Mondays at 10 Eastern on NBC. The series premiere was last week. Check out Ernie Hudson in his latest